doing the technology of the ABAP stack, so to say, using advanced OpenSQL, CDS, and ABAP managed database procedure. And then I will take over again by using, guiding you through the OData stuff and HANA Cloud Platform and the Fiori UI. Okay? So the first part is just a few slides to introduce the CodeJam event itself. So introduction we already did. So what is the CodeJam event? So we are asked to always show these slides from the marketing colleagues because the event is sponsored by our SAP marketing. What is the CodeJam event? It's a 5 to 6 hours event, to share, to get you hands-on technology. Okay. So again, we are not from marketing, we are not from sales, from pre-sales. So we are showing you the real stuff so that you get hands-on the latest stuff that we from the technology department developed, and basically it takes some time until the customer are getting hands on the new technology. So there's kind of a long way to go here. If you are interested in all the new topics, just visit the developers SAP.com site. You will find some useful information around the whole topics. It's HANA Cloud Platform, Fiori, HANA, ABAP on HANA, and whatever. Just check out this really cool website. You get a lot of information here. You can also do some more learnings under this homepage. Then just for you, so if your company like to host a CodeJam event on your own, please feel free to sign up there. It's quite easy. The only thing you have to do is to organize a room, like here, and to do some advertising, so that you just that we get some participants here. We from SAP also sponsor a little bit the event by taking some costs of the catering. So feel free to apply for such a session. It's quite easy. It's low cost, I would say, to exactly do this kind of event. Okay, so please feel free if you're interested in. Write an email to your colleagues. They will get in contact with you, organize all the stuff. Then they will ask us if we are willing to go to some fancy places like Istanbul and okay. That's all about the CodeJam event itself. I think we will now start with this topic here. The first part, I just want to show you and give you some introduction into the ABAP stack in 740 itself. Okay, it's quite short. So who already have some experience or get hands on the latest ABAP stack called 740? Yeah? Okay. So what is 740? Basically, it's a normal, how we call it, enhancement package, compatible with all 7X stacks. The most important part is that we are, since 740, support our own database called SAP HANA. You heard about that, And it's the first stack that you just can consume, or that we have an underlying database SAP HANA on the ABAP stack. What is also quite important here is that we also support any other database as in the past, beside our own database HANA. And of course, what we did in the 740 stack is that we just implemented or created a lot of new stuff around SAP HANA, so that we can create new views called CDS views, so extended view building. And then we did some more improvements around by doing kind of code push down in HANA database. And the last point here is that we just migrated or just get the SAP NetWeaver Gateway add-on and the SAP UI5 libraries also into the 740s. Okay. So highlights at a glance, as it just named here. So what is the most important parts beside all the other stuff? Of course, we have in the ABAP stack is that we are using development tools in Eclipse, a new way how we will develop in future. Again, a question to you. So I think you got an email from the CodeJam colleagues. So you all installed the ABAP development tools, meaning that you install Eclipse and on top of that install the ABAP development tools. I'm right? Who did not do that yet? Everybody? Perfect. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's the first one. So we also have an exercise around that, so that we just, of course, have to connect to the systems we are using today. There's an exercise of that. I will show it to you how that looks like. Then we have a lot of stuff done around performance tooling, and you just get some new tools, some really cool stuff around how to measure, how to profile stuff in the system. There are a lot of stuff done in the ABAP development tools with a new perspective for ABAP profiling. Maybe I'll show that later. And also some internal tools like SQL monitors, so how you can measure the performance against directly on the database and stuff like that. And the next part, I already said that in the previous slide, is that we just have now some part of the gateway add-on ported down to the basis, so to the NetWeaver stack itself. So because we want to, and that's what we see later today, is that we want to create some data services so that we consume the data services in the SAP UI5, more or less in the HANA Cloud Platform. And then the really important topic here, core data services, CDS, that's a kind of way how you can build views. If you maybe know SE11, there were also the possibility to create views, but with a really limited scope. And with this one, with the core data services, there you have the possibility to create really advanced, so we call it advanced view building capabilities. So we have a lot of stuff inside there, functionality to create views. Andreas is the right expert here, so if you have any kind of question, if he cannot answer it, nobody will answer it. Okay. And then the next part here, ABAP managed database procedures. That's a way how you can create directly HANA database procedures in the ABAP stack. Okay. So ABAP managed database procedures mean that you just create a database procedures and the runtime artifact is created directly on the HANA stack. That's only working currently only for HANA database, but the API itself is open, so other database vendors can exactly do the same, so that you can create also, maybe in the future, database procedures on any other database. Currently, what we support is the HANA database, but the API is open, so that's more or less part of the other database vendors to create or to implement APIs here to also support that for other databases. Okay, then ABAP language and open as well. So because of this topic here for data services, we also had to enhance a little bit or enhance the OpenSQL, so that you just can use more and more features in the OpenSQL standard, because we are not yet at that point that we support the so-called SQL 92 standard, and 92 means the definition, a specification from 1992, and that's quite long ago. So and we are not far away, but we are still away from this so-called SQL 92 standard, and we want to get closer and closer to this 92 standard. Okay, and then the other one here, SAP UI5 again. So of course we also now have the SAP UI5 libraries in the ABAP text. You can directly consume that. But the strategy here is, to be honest, and that's what we will see today, to use HANA Cloud Platform, Web IDE to create our Fiori apps directly in HANA Cloud Platform. And then besides that, some other optimizations. I will just skip that one. Okay. What are the essential ingredients here? Basically, we have exactly three things. We have the HANA as a platform, and HANA is not just a database, it's more. If you are experienced a little bit in HANA, you know that we have a lot of engines in the HANA database, like the T-Rex engine, text search, or other libraries like predictive analytics and whatever. Yeah, so you can do a lot of stuff there. Yeah, create different views using the analytic engine, the calculation engine, and so on and so on. So also this is evolving really fast. The HANA database itself, yeah, more and more functionality is brought into the HANA stack itself, and you can really rely on a big functionality here. Then code to data is a new paradigm. So especially for us as an ABAP developer, yeah, what we want to do basically with this ABAP and HANA thing is that we want to move down logic from the application server to the database. Okay? And we want not to move or port everything from the ABAP stack to the HANA database. We only want to move down or do a kind of code push down of the interesting things, yeah? The things that are data-intensive calculations. Yeah? If you have millions, billions of data records and you have to do a calculation on these records, then it's worth to push down to the HANA database. Yeah? If you just read some small data records, yeah, it's not worth, I would guess, to push down that to the HANA database. Okay? That's the point here. And last but not least, as I just said, yeah, Eclipse as an integrated development environment here. So you will see that, you will use that, so that we have a new way on kind of developing things. To be honest, if you just want to write a class or a report, of course you can still stick and use SE80, SE24, whatever, yeah. But all the new things like CDS views, they are only supported in ABAP in Eclipse. So there is no way around that. So you are somehow forced from SAP to use the new tools. And I can only encourage you to use, yeah, to give ABAP in Eclipse a chance, yeah, to use the new development environment to do your coding completely there. Because it's not only that you just write coding as a class or in a report on a function module, yeah, the whole tool around ABAP in Eclipse, the tools and the functionality is much bigger than you will find in SE80. Okay, so of course, if you are used to use SE80, it will take some time that you go to ABAP in Eclipse, but give it a chance. Yeah, I can only encourage you to try it out, find it out. It's worth to migrate for you to ABAP in Eclipse. Okay. As I just said, SAP HANA more just in the database. The most important fact here is that we save the whole database in the main memory. Yeah. It's not more or less persistent anymore. Why is HANA also so fast? The second point here is because we organize the data in a different way. Maybe you already heard about that, so that we have so-called column storage, so that we organize data different than other databases. Because of doing that, we are much faster, and also the fact that all the data is already loaded into the main memory. Because we are organizing the data in a different way, we are also able to compress the data in the main memory by a factor 5 to 30. So that means that if you have a 12 terabyte database, that might fit into an 8 terabyte main memory. Okay, that's the reason behind that. Because we are organizing data in a different way, we can compress it that much. And of course, by using multi-core architecture, we are also able to accelerate, to do some calculations in parallel, so that we get up a high speed on doing some calculations up to 10,000 times faster compared, for example, to a normal database or compared to the ABAP stack. Okay, just some cases. Okay. Again, what we are basically want to do with this ABAP on HANA thing, is that we want to do a kind of code push down. So bring the calculations from the application server down to the database. The paradigm here is called code to data. So write the code where the data resides. Okay. Just a short introduction. So if you have questions, ask now. Of course, we are the whole day here, so don't worry to ask any kind of questions, hopefully. Short introduction about the About HANA topic. If there are no questions, then that's what you will build today over the next couple of hours. Okay? So we have the so-called Fiori UI, and you will just use different technologies in the ABAP stack. The first one is called using CDS views, so you will create CDS views to do some calculations on the ABAP stack. You will implement the so-called ABAP managed database procedure to also do some calculations there. And you will also use some new advanced features in OpenSQL, advanced SQL, to also do some calculations. That's the first part from the exercises. And the second part is that we just to expose the data via our data service. And on top of that, using HANA Cloud Platform Web IDE to create a Fiori UI. Okay? So you are scared? No?
What do we use for creating UI?
Yes, we are using the SAP UI5 libraries, but SAP UI5 meaning that you are connecting to the HANA Cloud Platform. This is described how to do it. I will show also. And then using so-called templates to create exactly that UI that you will see. It's a master detail template. Of course, you have to do some adjustments here to consume the service that we just created on the ABAP stack to consume the data, to expose that to the outside world. You just then, of course, have to use your data service to consume, to load data from the data. Okay? Okay. So, just a general architecture, maybe to, that you just see what we are basically doing here, from the stuff, from the part that we implement. Again, we have the SAP HANA database. There we have some views and tables, or procedures. We will also create some new views by means of creating CDS views in the ABAP stack. We will create a so-called database procedure by means of creating ABAP managed database procedure in the ABAP stack, here. And meaning that we have the implementation of the ABAP stack, and by activating it, by running it, we have the runtime artifacts, so to say, on the HANA layer. The next part is that we are using the gateway, the SEGW, as gateway builder, to model our entity sets, and using functionality by exposing a data service by means of just using the gateway builder. Okay? And then of course what happens internally is that you just have a kind of ECF node where you just have this data service can be consumed by an HTTP request from the outside world. And on top of that, you have the Fiori app with your HTML5 UI on the HANA Cloud Platform, connecting to this data service here, fetching the data from the database. Okay? So that's the stack somehow. That's what we will use today. That's all what we have in the ABAP stack currently. So it's a full load end-to-end application. Okay. Again, the steps of the CodeJam is that we just use ABAP development tools in Eclipse. I will just show a quick demo here. And connect to the systems. I have here some handouts. What we are using, what you are using, a special user here is a password. So everybody has a different user. It's on this handouts here, so that we are all on the same page. That you can connect to the system, and that we are ready to do at least the implementation part. Then Andreas will take over by implementing or showing you, introducing you the data services, as well as OpenSQL, advanced OpenSQL, and other managed database procedures. And then again, I will take over and just expose an OData service out of our gateway model and implementing a Fiori UI on the HANA Cloud Platform. Questions? Okay, before we start, that's the handout here on the paper. So basically what you have to do is, we have an ABAP system. I created 3 different instances, yeah. So everybody, you have to share 3 different ABAP systems. Okay, the handouts will guide you to the right one. The point here is that you have to enter the IP address of the server. Again, it's on the handouts here. And quite important, you have to maintain the etc hosts file, yeah, on your machine, because otherwise you are not able to, for example, debug, because the debugger itself will resolve the IP address over the host file, over the alias or the name, the DNS name. Okay, that's the reason why you have to maintain it. All the documents, the exercises, you will find under this link here. Yeah, it's a bit.ly link. It will redirect you to a Dropbox, my Dropbox account, and inside that you will find a zip file. There are 2 files included. One are the exercises as a PDF document, and one other file is later for the last exercise for the HANA Cloud Platform. Because if you upload later on into the HANA Cloud Platform, it's easier to create some destinations pointing you to the right server, the one you just maintained here. Okay, but I will show that later again. So ignore it currently, the second file. It's just for the last exercise. Okay, you got it? Okay, cool. Oops. User password is also on the handout. It's developer XX. XX means that you have everyone has an own different user, okay? And everybody has the same password here, welcome one. Okay? Cool. What's the last one? Okay. Then one last thing before I just show you the first demo, is today we are working with the so-called data model called Enterprise Procurement Model. That's EPM. That's a demo model. Maybe you already know S-Flight from the past. Yeah? You know S-Flight? Sample? Perfect. Okay. Because, maybe you are asking why we are using not S-Flight. Well, we want to do some new cool stuff, not the old ABAP world, so we decided to create a new S-Flight model called EPM. Okay. It's not an S-Flight, but it's a kind of sales, purchase, order scenario where you have customers, where you have invoices, where you have purchase orders, and so on and so on. Where you have business partners. And this is the new demo mode we are using in the ABAP on HANA world. Also, if you find some other samples, maybe for Fiori, for HANA, everybody is using this so-called EPM, Enterprise Procurement Model. Okay? There are 2 things you have to remember. Okay? If you want to play around with that. The first thing is that you basically have a kind of relationship in the Enterprise Procurement Model between a header and an item. And how you resolve this entity relationship is that you have a node key, second one here, on the header level, and you have a parent key on the item level. That works for invoices, that works for purchase orders, that works for sales orders. It's always the same. A parent-child relationship can be resolved by resolving the node key and parent key. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you have an entity-to-entity relationship, you always have the node key, for example, the business partner, and a different entity like the sales order, for example, a so-called GUID. In this sample, it's the node key and the buyer GUID. If you have a different relationship between an invoice or an invoice item and the product, you have the node key for the product and the product GUID to the item level. Okay, that's the second relationship. So always parent-child, node key, parent key, and different entities, it's the node key and any kind of GUID. Okay, so that's how you find or can resolve all the relationship with the data. Okay, quite easy, perfect. Okay, I will now just do the first exercise together with you. Yeah, we decided today that we do a kind of step-by-step code jam. So we will do an exercise.